Hi, my name is Leigh Shabu, and today I'm going to be talking about a utilitarian approach to abortion. So starting off, what is utilitarianism? Utilitarianism is defined as the moral theory that focuses on the results or consequences of our actions and treats intentions as irrelevant. There are two types of utilitarianism. First is act utilitarianism or classical utilitarianism. This states that in any given situation, you should choose the action that produces the greatest good for the greatest number. Rule utilitarianism states that we ought to live by rules that, in general, are likely to lead to the greatest good for the greatest number of people. As you can see, utilitarianism is more focused on the results of things and not the goals or objectives of it. Likewise, it focuses on the greatest good for the greatest number of the population or for the society. Abortion in the United States today. Abortion is legal in the United States and throughout its territories with different restrictions in each state. However, abortion is a controversial topic with limitations and the support for more traditional views increasing each year. Each state holds varying viewpoints, and women's accessibility to abortion has slowly started to diminish this past decade. Because this is such a continuous and diverse issue, there have been many contrasting incentives on what to do. Furthermore, anti-abortion laws and various tests to determine the approval of an abortion have been on the rise, raising further questions on the future of abortion in the nation. So this is just an image that shows abortion policies in 2000, and this is another image that shows abortion policies last year. So this one states that in 2000, 27 states demonstrated hostility to abortion rights and 12 states were supportive. This one states that in 2020, 29 states demonstrated hostility to abortion rights, while 16 states demonstrated support. As you can see, abortion policies in 2000 were more lenient and less restrictive than it is today. In the past 20 years, an increasing amount of states have strengthened anti-abortion motives. So right now, more than half of the U.S. population shows hostility to abortion rights, and only a few states show support. Especially in Texas, we all know about the rise of traditional views and the rise for abortion restrictions and limitations, and how people are planning on defunding Planned Parenthood. So what is a utilitarian approach to abortion? Because utilitarians focus on the results of our actions, there are several dimensions to how this applies to abortion. One of the main questions regarding abortion is, when does human life begin? In utilitarianism, there is no absolute word placed on human life, so it avoids the question of when human life starts. Act utilitarianism is particularly helpful in examining abortion policy since it focuses on each individual's actions, suggesting that abortion would be the mother's choice. Act utilitarianism observes each situation based on its own standards and assesses each individual's actions in regards to their circumstances. So we can say that act utilitarianism is more on the pro-choice side. On the other hand, rule utilitarianism expresses that there should be a rule concerning abortion that pertains to all situations. This means that an individual's choice should be aimed at the benefit of society as a whole, not just for themselves. As a result, this makes utilitarianism not the most effective theory when approaching abortion, especially because of the conflicting interests between act utilitarianism and rule utilitarianism. Perspectives on abortion. There are a considerable amount of viewpoints when it comes to abortion. Nevertheless, I have marginalized these angles into two main utilitarian perspectives. Because utilitarianism concentrates on the greatest good for the greatest number of people, abortion can be simplified into two central approaches. The first perspective focuses on how abortion supports the general happiness of the population. According to numerical data, it is shown that the medical and social health benefits of abortion contributes to the happiness of a broad portion of the population. From this perspective, we can see that abortion is a completely moral matter that caters to the greatest amount of happiness on the greatest amount of people, as Jeremy Bentham once said. Another approach fixates on unwanted childbearing and its effects on the entire family, as well as society as a whole. Without reliable, lawful abortions, more women would undergo unwanted pregnancies and childbearing, which negatively affects the mental and physical health of all people involved. Furthermore, mothers with undesired births experience elevated levels of depression and decreased levels of happiness than mothers without undesired births. Not only does this affect the mother, it also affects other children in the family as well. Any case that spreads depression and other negative results throughout society can be seen as morally wrong from the utilitarian approach. So this is a great video that basically talks about abortion from a utilitarian approach and from other approaches. Advantages and disadvantages of using utilitarian approach to abortion. Some advantages of using utilitarianism when discussing abortion is its significance on neutrality. Utilitarianism states that when making a decision, one should consider everyone equally. This importance makes utilitarianism a functional theory because it assesses everyone's interests and concerns as equally important. So when applied to abortion, utilitarianism evaluates the objectives of all parties involved to come to an informed decision. In addition, utilitarianism confronted traditional views that perceived abortion as evil, stating that the results validates the means. Utilitarianism generally advocates for pro-choice, and John Mill firmly believed in individual control. On the other hand, the disadvantages of utilitarianism include that this approach brings in more questions than answers. When discussing abortion, the question of whether to bring more children into the world or to control the rate at which children are born is raised. Furthermore, rule utilitarianism brings in the question of whether people should really follow a rule that contributes to the happiness of others instead of themselves. A great example is a mother decides not to get an abortion just to please her partner, parents, and other relatives. So these are just two images, and in this one it says no mass, my body, my choice, and this one says pro-choice, my body, my choice. This is a great example for current times because of the ongoing pandemic, because a lot of people right now are saying that they don't want to wear a mask because it's their body and their choice. Likewise, women always say that they have the right to an abortion because it's their body and their choice. And in this cartoon, it states that before giving this woman an abortion, you have to be sure that there's no heartbeat. And the doctor looks at the guy's heartbeat. So overall, utilitarianism assesses this topic in an effective manner and uses different outlooks to connect it to abortion in the US today. Although utilitarianism is not the best method to approach abortion, it provides different standpoints and concentrates on the results of situations while providing various examples. Thank you.